mean,
the thing with me with LGD when topping their group, they had a fairly straightforward path. They didn't have to meet EG for one thing, who was in their group because of their Complexity upset. Complexity, a great team, but I think LGD match up very well against Complexity, and they would have struggled more against EG. EG historically do very well against the Chinese squad, so I think LGD haven't been tested yet. Forever Young knows them well. I just feel like Zhao has a way of winning these big matches. He did it with Big God back when he had this ragtag group of players who were quote-unquote retired. I have just a hunch that Forever Young are going to take the close series.
Woof, one for Forever Young. What about you, Winter?
Do you believe, Winter?
I believe him.
You do?
I was going to say like roughly roughly the same thing with how much I believe in the director.
Just because you went shirt shopping together, or you did laundry and someone put a red sock in.
Oh.
Like they're putting there like, I can't wait to wash my white shirts, and then period.
He just left his tie in the wash. I mean, look at it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
What did you describe it as earlier?
That tie? I said it looked like he'd torn it off an old lady's sofa. Like
a stylish old lady's sofa. I will add.
Is that a good
I like
thing
it, Punker.
or a bad thing?
Do you like old ladies' sofas? If you do, you'll love this tie. You don't?
You're a good salesman, you are. It does sound like the draft is on its way, so I'm going to cut you off. My prediction does go the way I've always been going with Period. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to go LFY. It looks like it's going to be
Wise.
3. Why not?
We have 3 people picking the team who finished 4th in their group. That's the crazy thing.
How often does that happen? How does that happen?
We just believe in the director,
yeah.
honestly.
You either believe in maybe or you believe in the director, and one's the captain, one's just a mid player.
Wow, look, I mean, the split doesn't represent the result. I mean, first seed going up against 4th. We do see almost close to 50-50 coming in from, and it's getting even closer with Twitter as well. You guys have firm believers that this is going to be a close game. I certainly hope so. We've been treated now. 2 games back-to-back, full 3 series, and hello. All right, Facebook.
What did Facebook
Calm
say?
down,
What was the Facebook?
90%.
Jesus.
Draft is ready, guys. Let's start talking about what we have to look forward to here. Are there any signature heroes that we're expecting to crop up, perhaps a deviation from the norm? Oh, well, here's some questions answered immediately.
Bingo bango. We're
Wow.
most of the way through the draft.
Recap, Ted. Give us a recap.
All right, we got an Enigma ban and an Ursa ban.
What?
Enigma ban?
What are you?
First ban Enigma. Yeah, what's wrong with you guys? Come on, standard.
I can understand the first ban LC. LGD plays a lot of Legion Commander.
Legion Commander SD and the Silencer bat. So I guess they picked up the Silencer to sort of stop the bat counter, but there's a Nyx Assassin out there, so interesting times.
That's what I suggested in the previous game. Remember, Alex? I said that the Silencer is really good with bat against the Nyx. That's the plan here for them. Both teams have very clear strats right now. One is to have very good lanes with the Ogre. The other would have good team fight with the Silencer plus bat initiations.
Is it a safe assumption that that's the first time we've seen a first phase Enigma ban?
Yes.
That's a safe one. A safe bet.
Even first Ursa ban in the first stage as well, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of these teams know each other very well, so they'll be like very directed bans against their opponents.
Yeah, they're not going to be banning around whatever the current meta is. It's like they always pick this or they always win with that, so we know they like this and that, so we'll just ban that. Having said that, Shadow Demon is a pretty standard ban, and Alk at the moment, I think, especially if you watch that last series, without Finum, is 100% bannable.
Yeah. In Zhao 8 teams always traditionally like to go around and work as a 5-man unit. We'll see very 5-man heavy, be it team fight or push. They want to stick as 5. For LGD, we're more likely going to see like that traditional carry that maybe split pushes a bit more, avoids the 5-man, so there will be a bit of clash of play styles.
Try to outmaneuver the opponents, try to get more farm, be more efficient around the map, bring more items, whereas LGD are just going to be, like Forever Young, it's going to be very team-orientated, play around each other. Just look at the bans. If you look at the second phase bans of Forever Young, they ban out Slug, very good split push hero, and very good at dealing with the Bat Rider, and they ban out the Naga as well. They clearly do not want the LGD main team to be, doing like split push, catching them. They just want to fight them head on.
And that's where LGD will be at their best, if they can get like a really dual core lineup where they have Ame as well as maybe both on these like farming carries, heroes that can split push, heroes that can be very independent. Perhaps something that can pair like with a Nyx for gank, like the Invoker maybe is still in the pool, something that can partner really well because you don't actually have to join up for those ganks.
Yep.
But
going back for the Nyx though, I've seen them run maybe with the Nyx mid.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm not a big fan of it. Like, to be honest, I believe that if you put maybe on the Nyx, it's like a very wasteful of resources. You don't want that guy to be playing like a space creation role. You want him to be on the big hero.
Yeah, and against a team that's going to 5-man a lot, you'd rather he's playing something that can split push a bit as well. That's not a split pushing hero. Lifestealer.
Lifestealer Nyx though, that is a fighting hero. Very good combination, very scary in the mid game. But then again, you don't want to run the lifesteal as your single core. You want to have your mid hero that has physical damage, carry potential.
I mean, can't really see them running the Nyx in the mid lane.
No,
with the
not
lifesteal
anymore. They need like a TA kind of hero. TA Shadow Fiend, like a carry hero. A hero that can output damage. Sniper is still in the pool, so Sniper would be also a very good option here for them. They have the Ogre. Ogre plus Sniper.
Yeah.
Very, very potent.
Turn him into a machine gun. Fire.
Ah, hello.
Yeah, this is like what we were talking about. One team is going to be trying to move around the map, split push. Use resource very well, and the other team will be sticking together, having heavy team fight. They want to, 5-man down the lane to push out. It's very clear that both teams have very different ways of approaching the game right now.
We haven't really seen the sort of split push style having much success so far at the major. It always seems to be about fighting rather than split pushing or grouping up.
you're not
So why would you still go for that? Why do you think that's going to work this time when it didn't necessarily come out on top the other time?
I think it's really important that you believe in your playstyle. It might not be the most optimal, but if you believe it and you execute it, I think that every playstyle can work still.
That was almost like kind of a Facebook quote, wasn't it?
It was very
if you
motivational.
believe in yourself, you can do anything.
Dude, that's basically the foundation of everything. You have to believe in what you're picking. You need to believe in your captain. Look at Adfinum. They picked Morphling one time in the scrim, and because the captain believes that it will work, they picked it.
You're right. I was making a joke just because it felt very close to the hand script on the wall, like live, laugh, love,
and a picture of a sunset.
Yeah, something
or
like that.
A crying kitten or something. Yeah.
That sounds about right. Either way, we are still waiting to see what LGD's response are.
Nerves there from the puck haver.
We have seen a puck today.
Yeah.
So you'll have been happy.
And he won, that was like one of
Another Sand King.
one of the best puck performances recently. We don't see the hero winning a lot, so that was really impressive.
Yeah, Sand King is LFY's, I think, most played hero, at least coming into this tournament, was, say, like the flexibility where it can play in the offlane as the core, can play in the 4 position as well.
Do they run like Bat Rider mid? If they are gonna run an offlane Sand King, then Bat Rider has to be mid. I'm really not a fan of the support Bat Rider we saw the last game.
Yeah.
You were trash talking it the whole time, Winter. That's one way to put it. Not a big fan of. He was just slagging it off. Yeah, it was quite impressive. But do you not think that LGD lack a bit of damage here compared to Forever Young? Like Forever Young, you got Sand King, you got Bat Rider, Jug's gonna put out damage.
Their 5th pick, it's maybe Zero. You know it's going to be a Shadow Fiend, it's going to be an Invoker, it's going to be something explosive.
Yeah, okay.
Like maybe even a Tiny could work. They have the IO. I don't know, like something that has a lot of burst and carry potential. Shadow Fiend.
Ban the Razor, what is that?
Is that still OD, right? That's still OD?
Yeah, it's still OD.
Okay, that's still OD. OD and IO. That's pretty scary in the early phase in the laning. Provide a lot of mana and sustain towards the OD, and the OD will just destroy his lane.
Right.
Ursa was banned, I'm afraid.
Stop breaking people's hearts.
Dude.
Oh gosh, okay, there goes the OD. No OD for...
Okay.
Maybe they was looking to force that ban, they may not have even wanted to play. They did do the IO Shadow Fiend in the group stage. Something which also gives some more minus armor to really help out the life stealer as well.
Yeah. I'm actually quite jealous of LFY. Sometimes
they're super hero.
That's super hero, the Dragon Knight.
Why are you jealous?
Why am I jealous of LFY? Well,
Yeah.
because sometimes in the green room I wish I could ban OD.
Hey!
That was okay.
You're on a panel with him
that was
tomorrow,
a good one.
Holmes. You're on a panel with him.
Stop! Don't give them spoilers. That was going to be a special treat.
Sorry, I mean, it might be.
But is this exactly what you were talking about, Gods? You know, you were saying that Super and maybe are very different. You said he even pulls out a DK.
It's going to be DK versus Flashy mid here.
That's it. That's a perfect way to describe.
This is
Shadow Fiend would be nice, yeah.
Shadow Fiend, Invoker. Invoker probably not quite as good against like the Bat Silencer type draft, but
I'm thinking like Shadow Fiend or TA. They need like a heavy physical hero right now, and someone that can build BKB, because you want BKB against the Silencer and Sand King.
Okay. And now they've just got a whole 70 seconds to build suspense.
This is where even if you've decided your pick, you use the time to plan out your first TP rotations, your ward spots.
Do we place the warding is like so crucial for especially the off lane. If you get a good ward down, you're going to be able to have a good time in the lane.
So that's what the discussion is happening right now.
They probably know their pick right now. Maybe there's a chance they're deciding between 2 different ones, but most likely they know what pick they're doing. They're deciding their exact ward spots, who's TPing where, who's using the smoke, all those things.
Interesting. And in terms of like pre-game rituals as well, did you ever have any, Winter? Did you ever have any, things you have to do, like magic socks you had to wear, or a particular game you had to play? I know some people like to play Osu or something beforehand. Anything?
No, I just need to make a phone call to
You
my
have to
wife.
make a phone call. Like, if I lose this one, if I go 3-2-2, I'm sorry.
Will you still love me?
There's the SF.
Hey, SF.
Woo! Woo! That's fine. First it's ever the main stage, so.
Shadow Fiend on the main stage going up against Super on his DK, as expected. It's going to be a clash of styles and a clash of sister teams. You feeling good about your predictions, everyone? I just want to see some nods.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually,
You're not sure.
I
I'm
like
actually not
LGD's
sure.
draft a bit better, yeah.
Same. Okay.
Well, we're in a bandit ship, but let's go on the LGD side.
Well, it does seem like our panelists have got faith in LGD's draft, preferring that one over that of Forever Young. Our casters are going to be ready for this one, so let's get this underway. Our final series of our second day of playoffs here for the Boston Major is about to begin, and it is time to check in with Merlini and Odie.
Yeah, thanks very much, Alex. Indeed, we're getting ready for this final series of the day, LGD-Forever Young against the original LGD. I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Ben Wu. It's the last hope here for China. We've seen the drafts coming out. What are you liking, Ben? What are you excited to see?
I think the silencer first phase is pretty interesting, and I don't know, Shadow Fiend seems like pretty hard countered by a lot of these heroes. He has a hard time versus the Juggernaut, hard time, I would say, versus the silencer, can't really get his ulti off, and of course the Bat Rider. But can they make the Bat Rider work out? It is a Xiao 8 Bat Rider, but first we will focus on the Radiant heroes.
Showing the lineup here, of course, LGD on the Radiant this time. There's a lot of excitement for the crowd, of course, that maybe SF, the real star player and star performing hero that he's known for. We'll see if he's able to pull out quite a performance this game. And of course, over on LFY, as you said, Xiao on this Bat Rider. Mixed opinions on the panel of this kind of hero in this position. What's your opinion on it, Ben?
It's different with LFY because when Kaka played the Bat Rider, he was like pure support and he wasn't dual offlane. Like he started off mid. I think Xiao 8, he is either going to play way greedier and just a straight up jungle, or he's going to dual offlane. I don't really think he's going to run around a lot and switch in between the lanes as much as Kaka did. So, the panel believed in Xiao 8. Xiao 8 is widely regarded as one of the best captains in the game, and he shouldn't disappoint here.
What kind of tempo do you expect to see this game between these two sides? Are we going to see a lot of action early on, or is it going to be very defensive play from both teams in the first kind of 10 minutes laning stage?
A lot of action.
A lot of
DK
action.
tends to breed that sort of game when he starts pushing towers, and you never really want to concede towers. You want to be able to protect your neutrals, and that's your first bastion of defense versus those. And DK starts sieging level 6.
And at the moment, in terms of the lanes, nothing too out of the ordinary. Jijing heading to that off lane on the Nyx Assassin. No sort of aggressive lanes coming out from either side at the moment. But this mid lane matchup, as you said, talking about the DK, someone who kind of is going to force that high action
chilling.
early on.
He's pulling a Kaka, he's just chilling there. So most of the games that I've seen him, he likes to dual offlane with Yao a lot. Like Sand King Left Frag was pretty common for him, and just wants to make sure that Yao does have a good game. But this game, Yao's actually just versus 2 melee heroes in the bottom lane. We see Ame and XZ, Ogre and Lifestealer, and that's kind of the dream as a Sand King, where you can't really get zoned out at level 1. Or he's in a fair amount of trouble. He's taking a lot of harassment bottom.
Indeed, Yao being chased down. Mid lane we saw as well, Xiao managed to get up 5 stacks, actually missed the 6th one, so was able to reset. And indeed, we'll see where Xiao decides to head to next. Jijing at the moment, trying to do his best to slow down En's farm on the Juggernaut. And Victoria actually already making the movement up towards that top lane as well. Stacks starting to be created over on the side of LFY. Jijing eyeing up DDC at the moment, throwing down a fair bit of harassment. Not feeling too scared of this duo at the moment, especially knowing that he's going to have the backup of Victoria in the neighborhood if he wants to try and go for some sort of aggressive play.
I think LGD-Forever Young had a pretty good plan with the first phase LC. Like his LC was very, very impressive, and as maybe said, he just likes the hero. So it's something that's nice for them to take away. Opens up some more picks for them potentially, even though I guess the OD was banned out. But they need to be able to put pressure on this lane. The Silencer is like a pretty greedy hero sometimes, and he's excellent at zoning out one hero, but he loses a lot of value when there's more than one hero in the lane.
And obviously, though, with the fact that Victoria's headed up to top of the Io to put pressure on there, it's left the mid lane up a little harder for maybe. He was starting to fall behind. He has caught back up. We keep seeing Xiao kind of heading over to the lane, back to the jungle, making the stacks, trying to make as much happen as he can in this early stage. EDC able to snipe the bounty. Victoria heading him off, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Xiao8's bat kind of continues on for this game, as we obviously, as you said, saw it earlier in the series where Kaka played it, and it didn't really result to much. But Xiao8, you feel like this man, he's going to have a bit of a better chance this time making the support bat work.
Definitely so. Especially, he's just playing straight greedy, and he knows the Wisp isn't going to come into his jungle, and then Ogre is in full vision of bottom lane, and he's also a little lucky that he didn't get any Centaur camps. Centaurs combined with Hellbears is very difficult, especially for a level 2 Bat Rider, but 3 camps, no Centaurs, he's a happy bat.
Down on the bottom again, yeah. Getting a rest back, yet to hit level 2 on this bottom lane, so the Sand King having to play very, very careful. And I guess as you mentioned, the fact that Xiao8's not been down here making this dual lane kind of work out aggressively against LGD, the Sand King's starting to suffer in these early stages. He's not finding as much as maybe he wanted to from this lane. Isn't really being able to do anything in terms of slowing down the farm of Arme, who's currently sitting 15 to 10 on par with the Jug of LFY.
Yeah, not too worried though. Again, the bat just getting so much and just having free farm of his own jungle is pretty crucial for them. And Io's also not been able to play greedy. He's up here babysitting Jixing, and he's not able to pull and get level 6 really early, which is what you want to be able to do. Or stack for the Shadow Fiend, which is definitely important because Shadow Fiend has to do the majority of the damage. The panel was worried about lack of damage, and I am in no disagreement.
Xiao8 rotating back round towards the mid. Just a couple of stacks of Napalm, keeping maybe on his toes. Making sure that the lane matchup continues to create a bit more space for this DK. Super still on par pretty much with maybe's SF. His Xiao8 kind of appearances not seeming to do enough in terms of slowing down maybe's farm. He's still finding everything that he needs to in this mid lane matchup.
He's doing a lot of small things though. He's kind of threatening mid. And Io, there is no target for him to tether
Could be
to.
he does need maybe to head over. Maybe should be there in time. Yeah, ND for the save. Victoria, simple tether across. He's okay. Well, in fact, supercharging in on the mid lane. He's got his eyes on Victoria. In fact, with the race, they'll just turn it around though. Maybe getting the kill. Victoria's going to survive, and maybe he's even going to get another one out of this. What the hell happened there? I think our observer moved away to just avoid showing that play from LFY because it was not. It did not. He would just charge straight in there, Super.
Yeah, he got hit by a double raise. DK's tanky, but he, oh my goodness, the level disparity too. Level 4.5 on the Dragon Knight versus now the level 6.5 on the Shadow.
This lane got so much harder for Super.
Yeah, he just tanked 2 level 3 raises. He actually went for the level 1 and stun too. So the tower, a couple of tower hits hitting him without that extra 3 armor. Wow, that's very costly.
Absolutely, and Victoria, after getting his job done in the mid, helping out, maybe turn that one around, head straight back towards the top lane. XG's turned up as well, they're looking for DDC, and well, they'll continue to chase him down with the Ignite. It's a level 3 Ogre, pretty scary here for the Silence. They'll try and turn them around with the Curse, and coming in with the Blade Fury, focusing Victoria first. They'll lose the Eye, but they have lost the Silencer, so it's a 1-for-1 at the moment, and continues to try and chase down Jixing, turns around with the stun, holds back the Jug. Xiao8 trying to move across with the Firefly, but Jixing already salving up, he'll be okay. So just ends up the 1-for-1 trade up on this top lane.
And now this mid lane, I mean, Super was not doing that poorly on CS, but now that Shadow Fiend doesn't really require any help from the Wisp, he's kind of free to do whatever they want. Now they can make aggressive maneuvers with their supports instead of actually just trying to shore up their lanes and Xiao8. No Firefly up for 13 seconds, doubt he's going to chase up there, especially when the stack timer is so close.
And it really is interesting to see the amount of denies that this lifesteal is getting done on this bottom lane. I mean, checking the SK's level at the moment, Arme.
Oh, there is smoke.
Nice to find level 4. Smoking around towards the rune spot, maybe. Eyes onto Xiao8, but Xiao8 with the Firefly back on cooldown. He's up to the high ground. Maybe turns around 1 raise, 2 raise brings Xiao8 incredibly low, but they've already lost the Io here. Victoria, the first casualty. Xiao8 keeps himself alive. Well, it looks a bit deny himself to the Ancients. So at the end of the day, it's LGD losing 1, and Xiao8 escaping just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, he's just a little bit far enough ahead that he could take that level 7 raise. And in the meantime, bottom lane's been pretty peaceful. Now that the Ogre has left the lane, Yao's able to pick up a lot of levels, almost level 5 on this. Unfortunately, his CS is suffering in the meantime, only sitting at 6.
Push starting to come in from LGD on this mid lane. Bloodlust is SF. I get a bit of damage down off the tower, but Super still holding tight. As you said, the fact that bottom lane is getting freed up, it's all good news for the Sand King. top lane as well. Even though there was a bit of action there earlier, it's not been enough to kind of shake Jug off his game.
And I'm watching Xiaowei jungle a little bit. He actually didn't choose to stack at the 7-minute mark. He saw the Centaur camp and just, it was at like 650. He didn't decide to pull. He just went for it, maybe thinking that it's too inefficient if he gets 2 Centaur camps.
And now at this point, I mean, Xiaowei, are we just going to see him just stay in the jungle and work towards that blink, or can he still offer much in the lanes in terms of coming in with the rotations at this stage with the levels that he has?
I think he has to come in with rotations considering how poorly the lanes have been doing. Like DK can't really exert any pressure on the towers, and Jixing is level 6 at the moment, so if he's not careful, Nexus Assassin can just come in and kill the Bat Rider and steal his stacks. So he will continue stack up and farm because they have vision on Nexus Assassin on the left side of the map. I did see a scan come out, and it did miss. It's pretty much where Nexus Assassin is right now. Maybe perhaps scared of Silencer +1 ganking the Shadow Fiend, but I was already there.
See if anyone gets a good bring to make any action happen. It's going to be a haste again on Super. Last time with that extra bit of speed, it didn't end up too well for him in the mid lane. So.
Yeah, I joke about it being like an invulnerability rune, because that's kind of how you feel when you have the rune. Like, I can do anything!
I think Super, it took it too literally, yeah. The first time round. Jixing, ready to go here with a bit of a surprise lifestealer movement. They do have this Dire Observer ward up at the moment, and quick pings out, they know that he's in the neighborhood. They may not know that the lifestealer's there. Lifestealer, of course, not showing in lane, so we'll see how LGD.F.Y reads the situation, and indeed, it looks like they're well aware of what's going on. They're playing incredibly safe.
Well, they know that he can't get a kill by himself.
Yeah.
Especially on the Juggernaut, there's like no chance. So he has to have someone inside of it. And looking at the bottom lane, XZ is on the bottom just farming alone as an ogre. So that's a pretty clear sign that Lifestealer is indeed inside of
really smart scan as well from LGD.F.Y. They're reading this movement perfectly. They know that he's there. Still, they're pushing out the lane pretty deep with Super. In fact, he's got the haste rune still, so he'll immediately just haste away from the mid lane. And indeed, at the end of the day there, LGD.F.Y just having LGD's number, they knew that movement was coming in, and unsuccessful gank, and these kind of movements, they do cost for LGD, because it's time off the map where your lifestealer isn't farming.
Ooh, he gets caught out without his rage.
And if he's dying as well, it's going to be even worse. They have the lasso dragging him under the tower. Arme's out, and they may even lose more than move in from end with the Blade Fury to take down Jixing. They've lost 2, and that Lifestealer Nyx Assassin rotation couldn't have ended any worse there, really, for LGD, losing 2 members, the Lifestealer included.
The ranged instant cast DK stun got him by surprise, it looks like, and he was at like 30% HP with no infest target in sight before he was even able to pop the rage, and that gets him much needed levels and some int to the Silencer. They really want his level 6 so they can combo with that Bat Rider ult. Although the Blink Dagger is still a little bit of time away, but Xiaowei will get a fair amount of time to peacefully farm up. 10-minute rune about to spawn. No kill rune, it seems, for maybe.
Just going to be picking up a regen. What kind of a SF build do you think we're going to be seeing this game from him? Is he going to go for the Shadow Blade or anything else first that needs to be prioritized?
I think Shadow Blade's a little bit redundant with the next assassin. They can already get him to set up for the gank. So yeah, he gets caught out by stun, and like by the time he rages, he's pretty much already dead. Just gets dragged into no man's land, and Jixing tries to save him, but despite the help of the Wisp, he will perish.
Yeah, very unfortunate positioning there. Having the lifesteal on the front lines, LGD.F.Y are going to decide to punish it. Also in the mid lane, take the tower, but LGD.F.Y Super was able to get the deny. Continuing to try and do the best at minimizing the lead of LGD in terms of gold in top lane. Jixing could be in trouble. Ends moving forward with the Blade Fury. Has an Omni Slash good to go as well. Jixing trying to get himself out of range of the potential Sentry Ward. He will, for the time being, avoid the first one, but a second Sentry's there, ready from DDC. Drops it down, allows N to finish off the kill.
And one of the main concerns, ooh, never mind. Bottom lane, Yao.
Have taken down LGD. They will find one in return. Actually going to have Xiaowei coming in with the lasso. Super with the Dragon Form trying to fight, focusing down, maybe, turns around, throws out of range, but he's down. They've lost the SF, and with the Blade Fury cutting him down low, Arme trying to man fight up against the Juggernaut. He might just do it one more touch and he'll find it. He's lost Victoria. Arme left behind, but with the armlet, he should be able to toggle his way out of this one. And Xiaowei indeed has to be careful how close he gets, because this lifestealer could have very well turned around and chomped him down as well. A bit of a messy fight there behind the tier 1. Arme gets out alive though. Overall gold just slightly going the way of LGD, but it's a pretty close trade.
I think that LFY had to blow way more ultimates, though, for that. And gives LGD time in to perhaps rotate in with the Vendetta, which is about to cool down, relocate. I guess Lifestealer needs a little bit more HP before all this is possible, however. But no problem with a Wisp on your team.
At least off the back of that fight, Victoria now with that level 6, so LGD.FY have to be careful of the Vendetta into relocate ganks. And as we can see here, just maybe getting caught on the front line, and the end gets a huge amount of good damage out with this Blade Fury as they're not able to do anything to bring him down through it. Until Armate comes out after the end of it all. Healing Ward at this stage, not enough to outdo the damage of that Armlet Lifestealer. Crucial pickup, and having it this time allows them to do stuff like this. Armate just picks up another with the help of Victoria and XZ. End's coming forward with the Blade Fury. He's going to try and punish the IO. Victoria, look at the Duke, the tether across. He might just live, and he does. Victoria survives. End's now stuck in the trees. Armate and XZ surrounding him. They're going to bring down the Juggernaut again in another bit of action on this bottom half of the map. Victoria will finally pop at the end of it all, but we can see these IO's plays just enabling this Lifestealer to go absolutely ham in these skirmishes.
Yeah, they're having to focus so much on everyone else, and knowing that if Wisp doesn't die, the hero that they're focusing is not going to die. So he is priority number 1. Unfortunately, they don't have any Blink Daggers or a good way to jump him in the back, but that should be coming in just a minute as Batrider is at 2050 gold right now. He's making the support Batrider work.
He really is, but he does need to make big plays happen once he gets it. The side lanes are getting pressured in. We're seeing this push from Maybe. They took the tier 1, half of the damage down on the tier 2. And then we have it, the item you spoke of, the blink for the bat. Xiao has the item ready and waiting. Arme's got the Echo Saber though as well, so he has to be careful with the ways that he jumps in. A failed initiation, and this Lifestealer could turn around with the help of Victoria on the IO and chomp him down in a couple of touches.
They do have Global Silence. It has cooled down already. So should be relatively clean if he can find the jump, and LGD has no vision over there, and with the aid of the smoke, perhaps the Nyx Assassin can break it out, but
that's a good jump in. Immediately onto Armate. The Global Silence is going to be the Victoria. Can't help him out at the moment with the tether, and it's not going to come in time. Great execution there from LFY.
Yeah, super easy target. Lifestealer, he thinks he's safe up in front with that armlet and the Wisp behind him, but not expecting that Blink Dagger to be coming out so early.
Moving forward, maybe seeing if they can get anything more though. LGD here with a full 4-man. Look at the initiation onto the Sand King, maybe coming up with a few raises, bringing Yao down low, but Yao survives, turns around with a Burrow Strike, and now it's maybe in trouble. He's been kept alive by Victoria, tries for the Requiem, but he's down. They've lost the Shadow Fiend. LFY with a very fortunate sequences of events. The first pick off with that bat blink reveal, then following it through for a second, and potentially a third. Victoria did try for the relocate out to save Maybe, but he ends up coming back, giving away his own life. In fact, Xiao's not done. He jumps forward. He's looking to chase down XZ as well. XZ will get away. Flame Break, not quite the mana for Xiao to drop the one out as well, but nonetheless, LFY finding 3 kills, not being punished for it at all. And that bat blink timing was absolutely perfect, man.
Yeah, they wanted to kill the Sand King very early on in the fight, but they didn't actually have sentries to reveal Maybe, and they didn't really feel comfortable leading with the Requiem, but they didn't have enough bursts to kill the Sand King. He just turned right back around, stunned the Shadow Fiend, and it's pretty much history from there, as Lifestealer was still in the grave, but Jixing looking around the map. Dire has used Scan. It will ping red, but it will just be the Ogre Magi, unbeknownst to LFY, instead of the payload with the Lifestealer inside.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how confidently LFY can come out on the board now. Obviously heading back to regen. Mid lane's getting pushed in by LGD.
And despite the past couple of minutes going pretty well for LGD.Forever Young, Yao still does not have his Blink Dagger, and they're kind of waiting for that, it seems, for LFY, because their combo's already very strong with just a lasso and the Silencer ultimate, but imagine that with an Epicenter and a Burrow Strike on top, and maybe he should get a Tome at 20 minutes if he's not level 11 by then. They really could use that level 2 ultimate, and on the flip side, LGD definitely need BKB from Shadow Fiend. You see how easily he's focused down, and they need some counterplay to the silence.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. How do you deal with this combo, the bat blink lasso into global silence?
There's a few ways to deal with it. Firstly is like Greaves, Lotus Orb, Yules, and BKB. I guess Manta too, but Manta's not really going to be like a first or second item for Shadow Fiend this game. But the problem is, like, you need to be able to prevent the lasso from happening, and a lot of that is due to the Nyx Assassin. If you can stand and the Firefly with Spike Carapace, then you won't be dragged all the way back into the clutching grips of LFY. So I think it's more important that the next season perhaps goes for something else. I'm not sure what you would go for. I guess a Greaves Rush perhaps on the next season. He hasn't really made signs of going for a Blink Dagger, but it does seem like he needs something immediately to deal with that.
Whatever he goes for, he's going to get a bit of a cash boost towards it as LGD take the top tier 2. In return, LFY find the tier 1 on the bottom lane. I need to open up this half of the map as well, around that Roshan pit. Whether any side goes for it anytime soon, we'll have to wait and see. BKB only 100 or so gold away from maybe. And at that point as well, yeah, armlet for DK. Super's got that ready for the fight.
That's his first item though, and I guess the only way for him to catch up is really like Ancient Stacks or surviving the fights, but look at it's different than the mids right now. He's like 4,000 net worth above, and the position ones are pretty close, but by the same token, Xiao 8 is way ahead of his counterpart.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, Xiao 8 with this play that could potentially be questioned after we saw a little bit of a lackluster about support performance earlier. He's certainly seeming to make it work this time in this matchup. Final series of the day. As you mentioned, key items coming out from the side of LFY. Yao now has the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, and they're smoked up. They're ready to go. Ready to try and allow these fights to enable Super to potentially catch up as well if they want. But it looks like for the moment being, Super's actually going to hang back. So it's LFY just smoking up with the 4 of them, looking to make something happen with these newfound items on their course.
I think they might as well smoke closer to the Radiant Observer Ward. There is a sentry plop down right outside their T3, in between the T3 and the T2, which is kind of trumped by the Observer Ward to the side. So looks like LGD are wise to LFY's ways. And there is an Ancient Black Dragon that gets lassoed back. Are they going to be able to combo with Global?
No, taking it down once, and with the Omni and the Global, they're bringing him down low. There's a bit of a surprise. That could maybe the high ground with the BKB. The Requiem comes out, bursts down Yao, turns towards Xiao 8. And LFY were not expecting to run up into that, and the pain may not be over yet. Arme looking to chase down N. Can he get in range for the open wound? Still 5 seconds cooldown. Super's there as well. Arme's continuing to move forward. Will be held back by the initial Dragon Tail from Super. And LGD, they will calm themselves. They won't go for anything more there. A very, very impressive bit of play there from Maybe.
That's almost an impossible timing to get for DDC. He tried to global right as soon as he pops out, but I believe if you global before he pops out, he's not going to be effective. So you can see that he's raged before, and like they have like Breathe Fire, they have like Dragon Tail, anything to lock him down, but now they have to chase uphill and maybe not wanting to waste their ultimate. So I mean, it seems like that Ancient Black Dragon just was a huge play for them.
The Black Dragon bait.
Yeah, they had a full lasso on it.
Certainly seeming to work out here for LGD. 10 to 12 though still, even though LFY leading in kills. It's the net worth values that are looking pretty impressive for LGD. Maybe 10,500 at the moment on his Shadow Fiend.
They also have much more physical damage for Roshan, so if they get more ahead, they can do more with their lead. Yao is on the sideline.
Yeah, it's got the epicenter at the ready.
Yeah, there is no
Lasso's back up.
Wisp balls, sometimes you can see heroes in the fog, which is especially important against the Bat and the Sand King, but at the same time you give your positioning away with the Wisp balls, and it looks like he's choosing to play it a little bit more safe, headed a little bit to the southeast, just in case one of his cores get caught out.
They are going to go in for this push. No global silence for this defense. Arme already going straight in fact, focusing down Xiao 8 with the Fire Blast. They'll take him out. Yao building the other side coming in. It's only a Burrow Strike onto the Iron though. Victoria falling low. They do drop the Iron return, but maybe blocks the BKB. Focuses towards Yao, forces the SK to retreat. There'll be a buyback from Victoria, relocating into the fight to enable Arme to potentially look for more. Stone coming in onto the jump. It's a 5-man Burrow Strike though from Yao. He's popped Io. He's popped the Ogre. Maybe still trying to fight for it all, falling down like the global silence goes back off cooldown. They're going to try and tip it up, but Yao, he's there again with the burst to finish him up, but at the end of the day, Yao's flashy plays are not enough. They've lost 4, ends on his way back to the base, and LGD will find the tier 2. There's some baller plays there from Yao.
And Xiao 8, that all started off with what he thought would just be able to aggro the creep wave. He popped a flame break down, and then he gets immediately Carapaced, and
just look at this Burrow Strike.
That Burrow Strike is so good. 5 heroes, and then the Wisp with the dieback there, and Yao always has the right idea. He goes for the Wisp first every single time, and maybe it looks like he's going to take down. He actually missed a raise on Sand King that potentially could have prevented that disastrous 5-man Burrow Strike, and perhaps save him at the end. But still, LGD, I would say, come ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Yao kind of giving his life there at the end to ensure that he got the kill onto maybe. Bro striking straight into that death requiem. But I mean, you said about 21 minutes in, 14 to 16, a lot of action between these two sides. And still definitely the potential for either side to take it. But as you mentioned, certainly overall feeling slightly in LGD's favor. Do you feel coming out of the laning stage?
Just a little bit, because I think the LFY's cores are way underfarmed.
Like, yeah, you look at Super's
Super
DK.
is, in particular, struggling. And all this net worth is pretty much just Super being behind maybe. It's about 4,500 net worth that he's behind on Super. And he especially needs BKB, I think. So he doesn't have to deal with the lifestealer like eating away at him, but more importantly, not getting stunlock from the Nyx.
I mean, as you said, one of the things kind of making up for Super's suffering is the fact that Xiao 8 looking very good on the support bat. As the drums now complete as well, so if they do find the potential for a jump in, they'll certainly be able to rip out a member of LGD and take them down. Talking about LGD, they're in the Roche pit. LFY has scanned the movements outside of the pit.
But they haven't smoked. Now this Observer Ward will see Xiao 8. I believe it saw him as he turned that tree in.
That would have clipped him as he comes forward. So they know that LFY are thinking about coming in. It didn't catch out the back up in smoke, though.
Scan. Are they going to run into the left side? Oh,
it's already down. Yeah, maybe he's got it.
They were way too slow with the TPs right there. We only saw 2 heroes, and they only saw 1 hero with the Observer Ward, but they don't want to smoke us too. How are they actually going to win a fight there?
Smoke on smoke here from both sides. Yijing leading the way, Arme in tow. Got that lifesteal already inside of him. We'll move towards Super, but immediately the jump in return with the stuns. The global side is coming out as well. The start to drag back the Nyx assassin, but they can't finish him off. Maybe it's brought in by Victoria. They'll surround on DDC in the sidelines. Silence is out. They've lost Yijing. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment, and Manta starting off the open wounds. Oh man, he's only going to be able to chomp down on the illusions and will escape. So big ults blown there. Does end up just being a 1-for-1. Super having to hide in the tree line. 10 seconds until that TP is ready, and that is going to be 10 seconds where LGD can see if they are able to get a bit of pressure on this bottom lane.
You can tell the experience difference between the both sides too. I think like DDC is a relatively old player and Jixing's a very new player, and he didn't pop his carapace immediately. Like the Dragon Knight popped in smoke, and as soon as that moment happens, you just blow everything just because you need to be able to get the jump. So DDC blows global immediately, and Nyx didn't get his spike carapace off in time.
I mean, this is scary, man. Look at this push coming in from LGD. It doesn't look like LFY have the tools to stop it. They have an epicenter. Yao starting to build it up. He needs something bigger. Jumps in. Boris strikes straight into the middle. Onto maybe bringing him down low. Maybe cursed up as well. BKB is still on cooldown here for the SF, but he has the Aegis ready for round 2. They'll lose Exito on the sidelines. They've lost Victoria as well. Yao able to survive. Firefly back up to the base. Yao comes through with a Broco once again. The brief fire from Super. They found 3. Dragon Tail onto Baby as well. LFY will clean up. Triple kill for Super. They'll certainly help him step back into this game, but they did lose the melee racks.
LGD, they wanted to hit that sweet spot where LFI were still waiting for that respawn timer, but they didn't wait out for their BKB. So Shadow Fiend, his first life, he was the one that kind of protecting his entire team, and as soon as he falls, even with a 5-second Aegis respawn, like he lost 2 supports, and very shortly thereafter the lifestealer and then his own life. So they need to be able to keep maybe alive, and he needs to be able to keep the dire heroes at bay with the BKB Requiem.
And with the momentum of that fight, LF1 themselves going to make something happen with this push down mid. Yijing has eyes on them at the moment. We're going to see in 10 seconds the 2 cores coming back.
He's always scared. You can tell in his mentality. He's like, they've had a couple of Sentry Wards for me before, and he's just not very confident in his movements. He's showing around the map a lot. He's a little bit scared with his spike carapace, and looks like he's just going to go for a safe build and go for the Glut of Haste into perhaps a Midas into a Scepter, expecting it to go a little bit late. But I think a more experienced Nyx Assassin could have actually dominated this game. He's actually behind Xiao 8 in terms of farm, and is always looking for heroes, maybe calling in for a relocate, but it's still very, very risky. I mean, can they do it?
Yao can maybe play his way around this. Immediately just sandstorms, it goes off.
See, with that, you want to be able to pop his blink at the very least. Like, even if you just hit him and then you miss the stun, at least you'll pop his blink, and then maybe you can catch him out after that. But, you know, maybe it's not his most familiar hero, and that's why they target him first with the LC ban.
Yeah, maybe nerves just showing here for Jixing on the main stage. He used to pull it together, though. Single elimination, of course. It's just game 1.
And Yao's, I think, playing very well, given the situation that he was in.
This Sand King, he has come up with some massive plays. And
very quick reflexes on that blink out, too. Xiao 8, it's coming around, no heroes in the trees, they are all grouped up. And they catch a whiff of LGD as the Observer Ward sees 3 in the mid lane. But Let's see, the Nyx Assassin, they know that he's not on him now, but more importantly, the Wisp. They don't see the Wisp yet, so they're searching for him first. That's who you want to lasso, that's who you want to Epicenter Burrow Strike. Maybe not waste Omni Slash on him. I think it's better suited for the Shadow Fiend or the Life Stealer. And Life Stealer hasn't built a way to deal with the global. Oftentimes you'll see maybe like a Manta, I would say, is becoming far more common on the Life Stealer, although we usually see it versus the what's the hero? Treant.
The Treant, yeah. Yeah, with the root and such. LGD actually smoked up.
Yeah, they did smoke up under the ward.
Now they're probably going to be prepared for this. We'll see if they just avoid it or if they want to try and capitalize on it and get themselves in with any sort of a wraparound. At the moment, I'll bring him back. Yog as well.
Super has BKB, they have the 4-step up, so whoever gets initiated on is likely super ready for this.
Radiant have scanned it out. They know that LFY is waiting on the high ground and immediately jump again. Super's going to move forward. Global Silence will come out. They're going to look to try and get a good lasso onto Ame, bringing him onto the high ground. Super will BKB, Dragon from head back. Yao goes in with the 2-man burrow strike. They're bringing the lunge in down low and Ame's out. He's the first casualty here and LFY aren't done. They'll turn towards XD. Xiao jumping forward, seeing if he can make anything more happen out of this one. Victoria's out to the south. Yao moving forward. He's going to jump in. They've still got the detection on the side of it all. Jijing turns around with the stun, but he's in trouble as well. The sandstorm comes through, end with a final touch, bricks up the triple. Super and Xiao finding the 4, Victoria on the side of it all. And it really feels like these last 5 minutes, it's starting to swing all in favor of LFY, even though they lost those racks early on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that fight was a lot of surprise with the 4-step. Like, the Life Stealer, he has to take a few seconds to, like, walk to the DK as he gets 4-step down the cliff. And then on top of that, the BKB, which he just picked up. I don't think there's any way that they could have really seen that coming from him. And they thought they could take the fight. I don't really blame them for that. I guess you could, like, expect the timing, but they feel a little bit pressured at least to make some plays perhaps before the next Roshan respawn, especially when they possess such a great lead before. But, you know, the later game goes, Life Stealer isn't going to scale up as well against the Jug.
Just look at this as well. Super, he gets forced into what seems to be an awful position to be in, but just the armor, the BKB, right there. He's out of there.
The flame break pushed Ame back up the hill after the stun from Yao. So, like, Yao and Xiao
here's the man himself, Xiao. Perfect composure and understandable as well with the amount of experience this man has. Turning up to a land like this, he's absolutely in his element. He's not going to feel out of place at all, and it's showing here with this Bat Rider performance so far in Game 1.
Yeah, even the play calling and the teamwork is much better from LFY at this point. Like, they aren't able to burst anyone down with the Nyx Assassin stun. They aren't really able to protect Ame on the Life Stealer. Some great individual play, but their teamwork and their chemistry is a little bit lacking compared to their sister team.
Waiting around the Roche pit again. Still, I get to hit the minimum timer. I'll drop a ward down. And we can see LFY.
How long are they going to wait?
I mean, it's not even hit the minimum time yet, so they're not going to know when it's going to be back up as of yet.
So Dyer's use scan. Looks like they don't have a smoke, but they do have the gem up. This time it is on Super, and Super has picked up his farm a lot and picked up a lot of armor. So Life Stealer doesn't really want to target him. Like, if you see him out in front, you kind of just want to ignore him and go to the back line. But you need to pop your rage early so you don't get stunned and just die. So it's a tricky situation for the Life Stealer, who has to rely a lot on the Nyx Assassin to set things up. Get him in a good position and stun lock hero so that he can burst him down before his first rage is over.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Absolutely, as you mentioned, Super didn't have the start that perhaps he wished he did, but he has already found that point where they just can't burst him down in an initial jumping. If he gets the chance to BKB and armlet, he's going to survive. LGD won't be able to find the kill onto him. They could try for the heroes around him, but as we're seeing with these fights continuing each and every time, LFY have the better calls, better team play.
And better team play items. Yeah. Juggernaut has a BKB on himself. That's not usually like a second or third item.
BKB and Manta, it's incredibly defensive.
Yeah, but all they need to do is prevent Nyx Assassin from really stunning them. Ogre, it's an Ogre without an Aether Lens, so he can't really stun lock people, and if you were doing that, you'd probably gamble a little bit on luck, which isn't ever something that you want to rely on. So it's all in the Nyx Assassin. If he can't burst down someone, they'll all pop their BKBs, pop their global, and just run at LGD, burst down the IO, kite the Life Stealer's rage, and it's history from there. So if LGD can equalize it 5-on-4 in exchange for all their ultimates at the start of that fight, I think then it's kind of even for them.
I'm talking about BKB's Xiao8 has his ready for the next fight, so certainly this hero that you're potentially looking to counter with the early Nyx Assassin pick in the draft is now kitted up to be prepared for what you have to answer to this bat.
Yeah.
So Jijing's game's going to get even harder now, and he's already starting to struggle a little bit in this matchup.
He's useless versus BKBs, unless you get the stun off before BKBs, which we have not seen yet from Jijing. And Xiao
He's got to be careful bat, but yeah, he's got that
close.
He's got that gem on him, Xiao. Jijing has to be careful how he reveals himself in this lane at the moment, just sapping up some of the XP. Lining up the teammates of LFY. And LFY as well, we've seen ever since kind of the 25-minute or so.
Smoke.
Yeah, consistently moving as 5. They're not letting themselves get caught out by any sort of relocate gank, any setup from Jijing with the Vendetta Impale. And they themselves are the ones playing aggressively, moving over to the LGD's half of the map. And this Dire Ward, it's allowing them to do so. They've seen LGD move up to the high ground, and he's the perfect jump in this ward, giving them the intel that they know to know that Arme is on his own, locked down by the lasso. That's going to be the life stealer out of it, and they're going to even find more of this Omni Slash from End. He's not messing around, chops down Jijing, and now godlike at this state of the game. And it just feels like LGD have just fallen off whatever momentum they had off the start of the laning stage, Ben, and how do they even start to come back from this? They're falling behind heavily.
They need to get roast. I think that's what they were eyeing for, but they just have no map control right now. LFY have way better wars around the map. They have gems, they have mass BKBs, and you can tell how stable the team they are. Like, as soon as he jumps, they just all pop their BKBs. They're like, screw it, I'm not gonna get stunned by Nyx Assassin. This guy has to die immediately. And I mean, you can try and outpush them, but Shadow
They're
Beam
trying
with
for
the
the
whip.
rat. They're doing it. They are trying for that second set of racks in the mid lane over in the Dire base. And they're going to lose that of their own mid. Melee racks are down. They've lost one, and End now TPing back. He's ready to try and stop this, put an end to this rat coming in from Maybe and Victoria. And look at the tier 3 at least, and will be relocated back out.
Can he do the TP trick, perhaps?
Is he going to try for it? He could try for it. He's got it in his kit.
Nope.
Nah, he's accepting his fate by the looks of it. Victoria and will be taken down. So at least with the rat, they do get tier 3. They finish off the range racks, but it does cost them the melee racks in the middle. But do you feel that was potentially a loss anyway? So that kind of play, you just have to go for it, Ben. Find something at least in trade.
I think it means that they're not confident in their team fight right now. If you're confident in your team fight, you take that fight. You're like up your T3, but Yao has just consistently been causing them so many issues. Nyx has constantly been a non-factor in these fights, so I think it's the right play from them. And perhaps this will be the fight that they're looking for. X sees smoke pot. Xiao8 has no idea except that the ward was just placed down, and now he has to be a little bit wary. And he does like jump in.
But immediately Xiao8 gets the BKB and the lasso off. He keeps himself safe, gets back up to the high ground. Arme trying to move forward with the rage, but he gets no sort of kill or lockdown with that initial movement, and now he's got to back up. But the jump forwards there. Yao with the epicenter, bringing Arme down low. He's stunned up, left alone, and that's the lights it out for 70 seconds on the sidelines. End chops down one. He's got the diffusal blade charge onto Maybe. Toggling it off here with the Manta style, trying to run himself away, but End continues to be persistent. Yao's there with the bow strike. Maybe pops the BKB. He'll try for the Requiem, but End with the blade through, avoiding visual damage, and they'll find the kill with Super's physical damage. They've lost 3 yet again. LGD now being doubled in kills by LFY. LFY, they're also going to get the Roshan, and this has, it's just gone immensely downhill here for the Radiant Ben.
They had a really good chance of winning that fight, but Xiao8 was too fast with his BKB. He BKB as soon as the Nyx blinks in, and then they all pop their BKBs, and Nyx just, like, as soon as that happens, you know that you lost the fight. But, you know, maybe he's trying his best. I think there's a big skill disparity in between some of the members of LGD, and Jijing, he has to be able to get these initiations, and it's just super tough. They're always ready for it. They know that if he misses a stun, then they're going to lose the fight. It's not like a game where you can pop your BKB like too early. You know, sometimes there's that like, oh god, I popped my BKB too early, we need to get out. But like in general, if they see the Nyx Assassin anywhere, they'll just pop their BKB, and that becomes a lot easier after they have the gem. So I don't know if they have superior vision, maybe, but now they have 0 observer wards up on the map.
LGD certainly being pressured into a corner. In terms of base defense, Jijing obviously to be looking towards that Aghanim Scepter. He's just over halfway there in terms of gold. He's almost certainly going to need it for the next time that LFY come in, so they've got at least something to help against this push that's getting bigger and bigger. And now with the butterfly complete, you've got both this Dragon Knight and Juggler can just head up to the high ground, hammer down on the towers, and feel confident in the backup that the rest of their team has to jump in at any chance that the LGD themselves try and look for a fight on the defensive.
Yeah, Yao is clearly the more experienced player in this head-to-head matchup and just been involved in a lot more kills. If we could see like stun duration, I'm sure Yao would be like way ahead of the Nyx, despite Nyx having 2 stuns and Sand King only 1. And yeah, and this game is... They also have not itemized against the Silencer. Like, Silencer is... he was first pick, so you know what you're going to be up against.
Yeah, in the first
phase. And Shadow Fiend's the only one that has anti-silence items. He has the Manta and the BKB. But it's really like the supports and the offlaner that really need the items to deal with the global silence. Like, you need to be able to catch your spells in the teamfight before you die. And Nyx Assassin, I'm not sure what he's going for with his Ring of Health. It could be Aether Lens, but I don't know. I think it's a little bit late for Aether. It could also be a Lotus Orb because he already has an energy booster. I'm not sure which one he's going to go for, but I talked about it like before he got the Blink Dagger. It's like, okay, he has the Blink Dagger, but now what? Like, if you're going to get the Blink Dagger, you have to hit your stuns. If you're not confident that you're going to hit your stuns, you go anti-global build so that you can actually do something before they get their BKBs.
Xiao leading the way here. Has got eyes on them as they come up to the high ground. Underneath this water, immediate jump in onto poor old Jijing. He's been having a tough old game, and LFY making sure that it doesn't get any easier. A bit of kind of utility is expended for that though. Xiao did pop the BKB, and Global Silence was used.
They're always safe though. That's their style. Like, he'll BKB on every initiation. They'll pull up Global. They'll like overkill with Omni Slash just to make sure that people are dead and they don't lose unnecessary heroes. It's always been a characteristic of Xiao teams, and like even that jump, like. If they didn't have that ward up there, I'm not sure if they would have gone for that kill. It's like it's almost 100% chance if you actually have vision of them before the jump. And they go for the very, very safe plays. And the only way that would have been stopped is if Nyx hasn't got his blink off, and he has not had the most flashy plays this game. He hasn't been able to outplay LFY at all.
The push coming in on the bottom, fortification out from LGD and XC. And it's coming out to the front of it, boarding back LFY. Looks like it'll be enough because they've had to head back up top. The push is coming in from LGD themselves, aren't they? Maybe and Victoria heading in onto the tier 3. Super and Yao coming forward. Yao with the Burrow Strike. Immediately leaves the lockdown onto Maybe. And walk it off. Themselves alive, Yao. And looking to chase this one down. Jumps forward. Maybe actually pops the PKB, turns round, forcing Yao to head back. So BKB charge down for Maybe. He will get himself back to base safely. But at this moment, it really is LGD just looking for any opportunity to go for the split push. And do you feel that is the best way for them to play at this stage? Can they not just get ready for a full 5-on-5? Are they just too far behind overall?
I think you need an Aegis in the Shadow Fiend or Lifestealer and able to be able to win the fight. You need to be able to survive their first volley of ultimates. Like, they blow all their BKBs, the Global Silence and the Lasso generally throughout the first couple seconds of the fight. If you can survive that, then LFY have nothing left to fight back with, and then you can kind of roll them with your second wave of Rage with Shadow Fiend just right-clicking everybody down, and your supports can actually cast spells because they're not under effects of Global Silence. So I think like that was not the fight for them to take. Like, Juggernaut could easily just Rambo in and kill everyone, lose his life, respawn back, and then just end the game right there. So it's a potentially game-ending decision for LGD to take that fight. So I think waiting closer to the next Roche, waiting for a smoke approach, waiting for another split push opportunity where they can limit LFY's numbers is the best avenue to victory.
And I guess the question is as well, Ben, we're obviously looking at the net worth board, and amongst all the chaos, Maybe and Ame are still in pretty fantastic positions on their 2 cores. It's just the other 3 members falling far behind in reaction to the counterparts of LFY. Can the lifesteal and the SF be enough to carry LGD through this game against LFY's heroes?
Not if they constantly get stun locked without any help. So I guess like the Wisp needs to be able to save him out. Oh,
Jijing, he's found himself a bit of a pickup here with the help of Ame and relocating as well. They do take out Xiao. This time, Jijing, good jump. Immediate stun, no chance for Xiao to react.
What happened to the gem? Oh, okay. So Jixing actually picked up a jump from that engagement. I'm not sure how he got the approach on Xiao, but that's a big loss. They need to pick up another jump immediately, and you see LFY do that. Like, even if they like can't pick it up immediately, you still want to start that respawn as soon as possible. So now Nick's Assassin, now he knows, okay, global is an issue. Now he goes for the Lotus Orb, which is really important. It's extremely important for him to do it. He could also, I guess, get a BKB, but this way, if he doesn't think that he's that important, he can also cast it on the Shadow Fiend or the Lifestealer, because they're the ones usually getting lassoed in the team fight. They're the ones that can potentially reflect an Omni Slash, which would be a big play. He can salvage all his early game and mid game mistakes if he just Lotus Orbs one Omni Slash, I would say.
Super picking up the blink, maybe. Demon Edge 2.2k towards the, what I'd imagine to be that MKB for the SF to help deal with N's Butterfly. Mate, it just begs to be seen what he goes for next. Starting to stockpile the gold. Is there any item in particular that you feel that will massively benefit the Lifestealer in this match?
It's tough for him. He only has one item slot left. You can replace your Echo Saber, but it's a tough call. Like, if you want to go more tanky, you can go for Heart. It's not a common pickup, but he kind of just needs to survive, so maybe he can do damage. If you want to go for anti-BKB, you go for
I was going to say, does he need a BKB himself, in fact? Is it enough to rely on Jijing's Lotus Orb to help him through the Global Silence, through the Rage?
The thing is, I'm not confident in Jijing's initiation this game, so Abyssal wouldn't be the best choice.
Talking about initiation, Xiao gets the perfect jump in onto maybe, starts to drag him back. It's going to be Lotus Sword by Jijing, trying to help him out, but the first guy comes through and they've lost maybe. Down for 70 seconds, Ame trying to turn around, focus Super, but Super, he has too much armor. Ame tries for the CPR, but he gets stunned up. They've lost 3 again. LGD losing these fights where Xiao finds the perfect jump in, and there's nothing that they can do in return.
They're using all their smokes to perfection, really. And yeah, just killing maybe like that with no counterplay. Like, Wisp can't relocate out because he has nothing to deal with the Global Silence is just hugely problematic. And you mentioned like the sports being underfarmed. In this game, it matters a lot.
All buybacks coming out here, and will be stunned up and shoved to the side as well, trying to keep it alive. Maybe focusing down onto Super, but Super is too damn tanky. The Omni Slash comes out, but it was Lotus Orb there. And in comes the epicenter though from Yao, bring them down low. Victorious out, will buybacks bring himself back into this fight, maybe turns towards Yao. They'll find the Bat Rider at least. They're moving forward for more. Super's BK being trying to get out there with the TP for the jump, and the Rage for maybe find Super. They'll find also the Silencer DDC to fall. So they do get the triple. They did have to expend a fair few buybacks there on LGD, as we can see. 4 buybacks now on cooldown, but they hold on with pretty much the first fight where they've come out in terms of numbers in what feels like pretty much the last half of the game.
And really unfortunate for LGD that it's almost a maximum Roshan respawn. It's like 250, so they would have loved to have an Aegis, especially to make up for their lack of buybacks right now, but I think they just go for it. At least force the buyback out of LFY.
But they don't have any buybacks available at the moment. LFY cannot buy back.
You got to YOLO it, dude.
They're without
you
3
go
heroes. This could be a nice little opening to find an extra bit of a bounty here.
You play to win, not to not lose. If they back off right now, you're playing to not lose.
LGD certainly going to come in and eye at these racks. There will be a fortification. LFY, can they actually hold on to this? 2 members down, LGD being a little timid. They know that if they lose cores at this stage with the buybacks and cooldown, it's going to be game over, and they are going to go for the risky play. They're going to be backing up, respecting the fact that LFY are going to be back in the game.
They don't have that great of vision up the hill. Like the Sentry Ward immediately takes out the Observer Ward. Xiao will get the he will get the vision on it, and it was a little bit risky. Like, it was close to nighttime. Sand King can lead in with the epicenter. They have smoke on Sand King too, so they were completely ready. And then as soon as he burrow strikes Epi's in, you buy back on your Juggernaut, you TP in, you destroy them. So yeah, it was a little bit risky. I think they could have pressed it for maybe a couple more seconds, but realizing they could have lost the game right there probably scared them back. And LFY will smoke up as they try and see if Roshan is up, and it is not.
And we're seeing Xiao just getting bigger and bigger. Shiva's guard complete as well. Running for these engagements. Xijing actually playing around down bottom. Does it high up Xiao? Had Arme inside him, but not feeling confident enough to jump out and go for the kill.
So he's going for Abyssal on the Lifestealer. You asked what should he go for before. So he seems like he needs more damage, or at least more lockdown during the BKB. I just don't think that he's able to do that much damage just because he's focused a lot. But at the same time, if they focus maybe and he doesn't do enough damage, they can just kind of ignore the Lifestealer. So he still wants to remain like a potent threat in most of the fights. And another member of LGD also has a way to deal with the Global Silence is the Ogre Magi with the Guardian Greaves. You usually see it on the Wisp, I would say, in this situation, but Victoria has died 11 times in this game and does not seem like he's going to be able to get out of that silence at all.
Understandable why they're focusing down Victoria as well. I remember seeing him in a series in a group stage, playing both Oracle and Io, and this man, if he's given the chance to, he pulls out amazing saves, but this game. LFY certainly knowing how to play around it. One lane, Jijing have the eyes onto Yao with the jump out. They'll take an immediate kill. That's actually tanking out 80 seconds, and he does not have the tools for buyback. He's still 700 or so gold short, and this is just around when Roshan's going to be respawning.
Yeah, Jixing is the last 5 minutes. Like the Lotus Orb Reflection on the Omni Slash, like the 2 picks that he had, one on Xiaowei on top, one on Yao on bottom. These have salvaged the game for them, and LFY hoping perhaps that there was a Roshan respawn, but now it's almost been 10 minutes, and both teams know that Roshan have to be up.
I mean, the question is, can LGD take it before the Sand King's back?
I think they have to capitalize on this somewhat. If they leave the pit too much, then they're just going to concede Roshan themselves. Like, the Juggernaut's very farmed. He can take it out quite easily. And maybe they're waiting for a smoke. I'm looking at the chicken. Radiant Chicken is just picking up a gem right now. So, no gem on the possession of LFY. So, Nyx is actually much more potent when you have no idea where he's coming from.
I know that the Roshan's up. An illusion from Maybe scouts it out. LFY, 20 seconds and Yao's back in. So when the Roche fight does kick off, both teams with a full 5-man alive and ready to enter the pit.
Yeah, they have a smoke ready on the Ogre in case they want to make a move. This is one of the most crucial moments in the game, and especially with no buybacks on LGD. They need the Aegis, and they really cannot concede LFY because they can just throw bodies at them at this point. And looks like there are 2 observer wards in the mid, and there isn't great vision by LGD to have one on the southern side of the map, but LFY, they have much better coverage of the Roshan area. And let's see, the Sentry Ward does not scout out Jixing yet. They need to have a good clue of where the next assassin is, but 2 cores are already just taking down Roche. Aegis and Cheese will go to LFY.
Absolutely. And the speed that they take it out, no way that LGD get there in return. They're trying to find something in trade at least, as you can see the pressure coming out on the top lane from them, but LFY already starting to back up. They're going to be able to hold this defense with that Aegis and such that they've just picked up. And again, LGD just backing up, playing it safe, probably playing around these timers as well. We're seeing 1 minute and a half, and then the 4 members will have their buyback back off cooldown. The money's there for the SF. Maybe he's got that ready. Jixing as well will have the money. Victoria's very close. Arme just needs an extra 1,000. So this last kind of minute or so is going to be the true rocky period here for LGD.
The lanes are in pretty good position though for LGD, so I don't think they can actually force the fight in the next minute. I guess it has to be like in the next 30 seconds, or else it'll cool down by the time the fight engages, and then he brings down his HP to 0. And just need to push out mid a little bit more, and as you mentioned, just wait out that buyback, just probably another 40 seconds at this point. But Bad Rider is very farmed. He has a Shiva's Guard, so they're kind of well suited to deal with this mass physical damage that Lifestealer and Shadow Fiend will have trouble piercing through. Combine that with the Butterfly and the Juggernaut. I guess there's the MKB already countered that, and then the AC up on the DK. That's a lot of armor.
Yep, and then the double damage as well on ends, if he's able to find a use of it here in this next just under a minute or so.
Yeah, they took down the Observer Ward though, so they know that they're around in this area, and know that they also don't have buybacks for 30 more seconds.
Let's see how much LFY can get done here.
So there still is a T2 up. So if LFY take the bottom set of the racks, it's not the worst thing in the world. They could wait until the Aegis expired if they consider that a better opportunity for them. And on the flip side, LFY don't actually have any T2s up. So if they push the top lane and attempt to go for a base race, then things could get hairy.
They're losing racks incredibly quick here on the bottom lane. LGD, they'll put the fortification, but no sign of sending heroes down here, so it looks like they're just going to let those ones go. And LFY, they're moving in for more onto the tier 4s. LGD, they need to do something in reaction. At the moment, maybe and Victoria continue to push up the top lane, but they've lost one tier 4. And LGD looks like they just kind of banded up top now. Arme's going to jump in. Now maybe will be brought back. They'll pop down the silencer. BKB's coming out from both sides here. It's XZ, the first casualty on LGD. The epicenter coming through, bringing Arme down low. He keeps himself alive with the effect. Finally dropped him down for 100 seconds. Maybe as well. He does have buyback the SF. Victoria buying back as well. They've got to hold this defense. There's 3 members of LFY still pushing into the base. Super jumps forward. Dragon Tail to maybe. And coming across as well. Jixing tries for a stun, but it's not going to connect. And just moves around it. Wants the Mantis though. Continues to focus down the base. Yao comes in with a bow strike, catching out both Victoria and maybe. Maybe turns towards Yao. Yao's going to be taken down, but he's got the Aegis ready for round 2. Jixing trying to keep end on the base, but he Blade Furies hits the Ancient, and it's all over. LFY, LGD Forever Young take game 1.
That was a cool maneuver at the end. They wanted to kill the silencer before the fight even started, but Xiao 8 with the quickest lasso on Ame. Like, Xiao 8 played out of his mind this game, and it's on, I think, a harder role to make a big impact in. And